Okay, my name's Bill Voice. This is UKGK TV, and this is my good friend
Dave Nicholson. How you doing, guys? You okay? Welcome back. It's been a few weeks. We've had a hectic few weeks, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've had UKGK, the aftermath for UKGK.
Yeah.
Last week we were scheduled for a booking, but you couldn't do it because
Couldn't do it. I was poorly. I got falafel poisoning. I went to For the Love of Horror, HorrorCon, Manchester.
Yeah. Good show.
I enjoyed some of it, but it was so big and so busy. It was impossible to just get a grip on anything. Even when you went around the trading area, which, to be honest with you, wasn't that brilliant. To be honest with you, yeah, there was nothing there that appealed to me that I hadn't already seen. There was nothing new under the sun. Yeah. I just felt that it was a little bit of a. It was like a. You know what? It was like a bad sequel. It had all the features of the original, but none of the dynamism.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dead busy. We always do really well when we get there. It's just difficult to get in. I think because it's so popular. Yeah. The demand for the tables is through the roof. You're lucky if you get in. If you get in, you're a lucky guy. We'll keep trying. It wasn't so much about, to me, it wasn't so much about the stuff you could get or even the movies, really. It was more of a signing fest. There was a huge bank of signing. Yes. And don't get me wrong, that's great. And the guy from The Hills Have Eyes. Oh yeah, lovely, isn't he?
Yeah, he's brilliant. And he was walking around and actually letting people take sneaky photos, even though they hadn't paid. Yeah, he did. But he was escorted from one place to the next. It was really high security. Right. And when he sat there was loads of people. Absolutely loads of people. Because, to be honest with you, there's a lot of famous people there that you recognise from your youth, but he was the iconic Monster Man.
Yeah.
So, because he doesn't even have to wear makeup to look strange. He's one of those... He's like Ron Perlman, isn't he? Yeah, he's one of those actors that doesn't need the makeup.
Yeah. He looks odd. He looks odd. I think it's probably the biggest horror convention in the UK. Yeah. And I think the guests they get are second to none. And, you know, I mean, the show, when we've been lucky to get in, it's always been brilliant for us. I never see it because we're always that busy when we're there, so I never actually get to see it from a punter's perspective. Everyone seems to sort of enjoy it when it's there.
The bit that I preferred...
Getting old a bit, Bill. That's
I'm getting old, but you know what? I'm old and I'm set in my ways. So when you go to popcorn or when you go to the other...
A bit more time to yourself.
There's a bit more time to yourself. And the theatre where the people are talking is very excluded because there's like a curtain or a wall.
Where's and then is it
HorrorCon? No, but at HorrorCon, the theatre where the people talk is right in the main hall. And so much noise going on.
Right.
That even though it's amplified and they've got screens and stuff, it just doesn't feel like... It feels like you're walking past it rather than sitting at it. Because like at Popcorn, I went to see some of the guys from Hellraiser. And I sat in that theatre and they spoke. And you could hear them. Brilliant. And there was time to ask questions. There was no background noise. It was very theatrical and very much like a serious kind of couple of moments between you and the people that you wanted to go and see. So, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it just wasn't my style. And like you say, if I was 10 years younger, well, 20 years younger if I'm honest,
you'd like it.
I'd have loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just too old.
We went to a new show yesterday, and I've got to be honest, It was a lovely show. It wasn't the most busiest show, but it was nice. It was have you ever been to what's it called, the racecourse in Newton Willows, Haydock Park?
Haydock Park. I've been there once for a wedding.
Yeah, we went there and it was really nice. It was really well organised. Wasn't as busy as the Manchester one, but and we took Ben along to help me do the back. Everyone's got to have a Ben. If you've met Ben, you'd know. You know Ben. Ben's like, what does he look like? He looks like
St. Bernard, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like I was thinking more like the guy off Monsters Inc. You know, the big.
Oh yeah. Well, big and hairy.
Now this is a true story about Ben. I couldn't believe this. We got there at 8:00 and we set up, and Ben had finished annoying me, and what they were doing, they were putting props. I was thinking about you. This is why I'm telling you this story. So they were setting these like props up for the kids to have the photo, and they had a big Jurassic Park backdrop with a raptor, and the kids could come and have a photograph taken with it. So there was all that sort of stuff, and then they fetched off this like 6 foot like paddling pool with all like Lego in it for the kids to play with. Right. So they were dragging this across in front of us, and they put it down, and then they got all these backdrops, and then there was a Darth Vader thing. So we're all set up with Ben. Love you, Ben, but you're an absolute mental, you are. So we're all set up, and the next minute I'm behind the back writing the prices, and he starts taking his shoes and socks off.
He's getting in the pool.
And I was just like, and I was just thinking, why is this guy taking his shoes and socks off? So he then proceeds to walk across the hall to this big, like, swimming pool, like kiddies paddling pool, full of Lego, and there's all these kids were waiting to play with it, and he walked across it, and I'm like, and all these kids are like, and honestly, and then he looked, he turned around, that big stupid grin he's got. He looked at me, and I'm like, oh my God. And all the women were looking at me, all of the family. Like, and then he just got out of it and then came back and calmly put his shoes on. And I went, what's that? And he went, oh, it's a Lego hell walk. And I went, no, it's not. It's for the kids to play with.
It's like walking on hot coals, isn't it? Like, yeah.
Oh man, he's crazy.
I think we all have someone who's a bit crazy.
You need
absolutely
Ben.
Crazy that we really love.
He meant to be honest. It made me laugh. Everyone couldn't believe it. He's got that. What have we got today, my friend?
Well, it's the most. For most people, Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year. But it's Halloween, so for people like us who are a bit more realistic about the miseries of life, Halloween is the thing. So today is kind of the
horror-y type thing.
Horror version of Christmas Eve, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just before the actual big day. And we've got an absolute stocking full of bumper crop. In fact, there's more to show than we've got time to show.
Yeah.
But this is just the tip of the iceberg. And there's some stuff coming your way that, I mean, I'm looking on here and I've seen three breathtaking pieces, which we're going to get to. And I have to say, one of these is like, it's ramped it up. You've got overkill, which is like the proliferation of nuclear weapons. This is the overkill.
Oh, right, yeah.
This is the overkill of kits. There, we'll show you. But
it's nice, isn't it? I mean, it's been coming a long time now. Well, first. Oh, before we go any further, it's Halloween.
Yeah.
A question, because you're my learned friend, right?
Come on, I'll try.
Halloween, it's related. Edward Scissorhands.
How's it? Right?
Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, you know the character, don't you? Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
When he goes to the toilet, what happens with the toilet paper?
Actually, I thought this through. Right. So that was proof that we're live.
Yeah.
The doorbell interrupted us. I think that's brilliant. It is actually beautiful outside, isn't it?
It's lovely.
The last couple of days have been absolutely delightful. Yesterday was beautiful, and because it's autumn and it's kind of the tilt of the year between the old year, which is the dying of the summer, and the onset of winter. This is the spiritual kind of time that so-called pagan religions would have celebrated.
Right.
When you see the dying of the summer and the harvest, I think it's Samhain is like the old Celtic thing, which is All Hallows Eve in the Christian calendar.
All Hallows Eve,
All Hallows Eve, which is where Halloween comes from. So it is a Celtic festival, and it's kind of the Day of the Dead. It represents the old year dying and the winter coming on, but it also represents the way that spirits of the dead move from from us, around us, into the afterlife. So that's where it is. Right. And for a certain point in time, people believed that there was a point in time when these two dimensions met.
Right.
And that is Halloween. That is the bit where the dead and the living come together.
Right, okay.
Momentarily for the same thing. In some religions, I suppose, in like Shinto Buddhism and stuff like that, I suppose it's kind of a festival. Like in Mexico, they celebrate it, don't they? Mm. Here, of course, we associate it with ghosts and horror. So this is
Let's move on to that.
Let's move on. So the first one we've got is this. And
it's Ben. No, it's not, sorry.
This is Sloth from the Goonies. And this is one of me and a lot of my friends, one of my favourite movies, really, The Goonies. I have to say, it's kind of one of those movies that...
Are you guys? Is that him?
Yeah.
Are you guys?
Are you guys? It kind of touches on a kind of a horror, a mystery sort of
It's a staple diet at Christmas, isn't it?
It's like a big Scooby-Doo.
Like Christmas time.
With these kids solving a mystery and a little bit of supernatural. And this is the guy that starts off looking like a villain, and it's a trope where we associate ugliness with evil.
Yeah.
But actually, the ugliness is us and the this character becomes a positive character, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And a bit of a hero of the movie. And this is a really good lesson for us all to learn. And,
This was originally done by a company called Boxing Dogs, and I bought the rights of most of their stuff. And this was done, I think it was by a guy called Brian Maguire. He's done a really, really good job of this.
if we just have a look at the back,
how good's the
that's
back?
great. That is
Superb,
beautiful.
isn't it? But this one's now available, guys. We've remoulded this and got it up to speed. So this one's now available just in time for Halloween. Well, if you're lucky.
That's a really good size as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a shelf burster.
A bit of a base. You could put a bit of wood on the bottom of that.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I think that's one of those like ideal little kits with just enough detail.
Yeah.
And just enough realism. But it doesn't look like...
It's not a shelf killer, is it?
It's not a shelf killer, is it?
Great lightness.
Yeah, and plenty of opportunity for your metallics on there.
Superb.
Yeah.
I'll take that one off you, my friend.
Okay, now the next thing is we briefly showed you this in its original form the other time, didn't we?
Which one's this one?
This is Alex.
Oh yeah, this is
Alex. I'm pleased to say I've had a bit of a hand in this. So originally this was by
Lee Ames. Jonathan Drewer.
Jonathan Drewer, and it still is. But as you can see, we've remodelled the actual bust, so it's an actual more like a bust now, more like a traditional bust.
Yeah.
But we've put together
A nice little base.
and you can see that the front says, Clockwork Orange. The back has Alex, and a nice. You could paint that up as a beautiful looking eyeball, and on the side we've got some clockwork.
How good's that?
So I'm really pleased with this.
I think it's great.
I think that's kind of revived it, hasn't it?
I think it's just give it a new lease of life.
So
it will sell
there you
all
go.
again.
That will, and it's lovely. And the braces have got a bit more detail on now. And what would you say when you cast it? Is it going to be one piece or two?
Not sure. I'll have to have a look at it.
I'll have to have a look at it. But
you basically sprung it on me, so I'm going to have a look at that while you're talking about the next one.
There you go. So that's it.
So the base is done by Bill. Thank you very much, Bill.
Yeah.
The top is the classic.
And the buckles on the braces.
Yeah, and he's done the buckles on the braces, and the top half is done by UK legend Jonathan Drewer. We have Jonathan passed all his stuff over to me not long ago and just said, Dave, whatever you need, just do. So we kind of tweaked it a little bit just to fetch it
up to the 21st century.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it originally.
But it just gives it a new sort of modern lease of life. And I have to say, I learned a lot when I was remodelling it, because I learned how Jonathan had actually constructed the whole thing.
Okay.
With coils of card and foil underneath, with Sculpey over the top, and it's really lovely. It was almost like, I almost feel like a restorer, like a classical painting restorer.
What's that program? Repair shop.
Yeah, like a repair shop, or even better, Fake or Fortune.
That's the one.
That's the one. So I felt like I think I've done him some justice by rearranging what he'd already done.
Well, if you bought the original, this gives you a chance to buy another one, because it's slightly different.
Yeah. So does that. The next one is one of my favourites. Now this is an actress that you will undoubtedly identify. This is Vampira. She's known as Vampira. That was her professional name. She's one of the big three. Well, one of the big four. There's Lily Munster. There's Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. There's Mrs. Adams.
Yeah.
You've got those, and this is Vampira. This is a sexy goth woman in a black dress. She had an incredibly small waist. And I remember seeing an interview when a guy says to her in this black and white interview, he looks at her and he says to her, "Is that really your waist?" And she said, "Yes." He goes, "Do you come in two pieces normally?" And it's almost like she's been plonked on. But so the way this comes down, it almost kind of mimics her overall shape, which is rather good. And look at the base, look at the detail on that. Now, if you're if you're a big fan of these horror actresses, this is one of them to have. And she's extremely elegant, and if you look at her in real life, you can look at her and see that the horror thing is kind of overpowering. But when you actually look at the actress, she was a very beautiful woman. She was born in Gloucester, believe it or not, wasn't she? We found out her name is Mela Nurmi, and we think she was born in Gloucester. Anybody in Gloucester wants to disagree with us, of course, you can put that in the comments. But this is lovely. And this was originally
an American kit, and we've now acquired the permission to do this in the UK.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Plan 9 from Outer Space, you will know who we're talking about. Plan 9 from Outer Space is reputed to be one of the worst films ever made, but it's not. It's not. I can think Sharknado 10 is worse, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nice. It's got quality to it.
This will be coming soon, so this one will be available before the The festive period.
Yes, the festive period. That means that the Christmas rather than our festive period, of course, which is Halloween.
Oh boy.
Next one, character from 2000 AD. So
This is yours, isn't it? He was determined to do this.
I had to look at this because my formative years and probably one of my greatest inspirations, and having worked on it very momentarily, was a comic book called 2000 AD, and I did some inking for them for an advertisement, and I also did a page of one of the actual featured pages in there once, and I was very privileged to do that. Of course, I couldn't have been that good else, they'd have asked me back. But I have to say, I've done it, I did my stint, I did a very momentary stint on this comic book, but this is a character called Slain. He's a Celtic warrior, and several artists have drawn him, but you can see...
The Beasley.
Yeah, this is the Beasley one. Yeah, Simon Beasley. This is the Simon Beasley Slain, and 2000 AD started to introduce, back in the 90s, a kind of oil-painted feel to some of their work, and Beasley's work goes beyond just the ordinary black and white comic book. Superb. But this is a great impression of it, and it comes in many bits. This
Big axe.
Big axe, massive axe. Nothing better than a massive axe.
No innuendos there.
No innuendos at all. Nothing better than a massive chopper. And here we've got it.
You can't be a big chopper, apparently.
Can't be a big chopper, apparently. And this is it. But this is what I would call a real kit. This isn't just a sculpt. This is a kit. So it will require some assembly. But when you've got kits that require some assembly, it also gives you a little bit of more leeway, doesn't it, to customise it yourself.
This is a nice one. This one's now available, guys. This one was previously released by Lee Ames. So
quality is superb. The actual detail on the axe there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see. You can't really appreciate this, but you can see with the actual. I think I've seen one of these painted recently. Possibly.
Does he have tartan trousers?
He does have tartan trousers.
Good luck with the tartan, Bill.
I was going to say, yeah, I would do him the kind of like the butch leathery Viking because it's easier to paint. So we've got that. We've got Slain. And this one, another small one.
This is Paul Fay's Carlo Frankenstein.
Carlo Frankenstein. Look at that. Look at the detail under the chin.
A few years ago, Paul decided, we had a chat about trying to get the military modelers on board. And the main thing that he used to say at the military shows was the figures were too big. So me and Paul had a brainstorm and decided to do the small versions. And we did this one. We did a Wolfman and we did a Nosferatu in this size. And we did a Chucky in this scale. So what we decided to do is do them a slightly smaller. I'd say that was a quarter scale.
Quarter scale, yeah.
But the military guys, they love the smaller stuff. Personally, me and Bill, we just can't see it, can we?
Well, I've seen stuff like this when you've got busts of Napoleon, Churchill, the Duke of Wellington, and those kind of things, which tend to be for face painting at military grade. This is quite large, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because normally you're working on 1/35th, 1/32nd, 1/72, little tiny scale figures, and this is quite a chunky kind of 1/4 scale figure, and I do love it because the thing is with Paul. He doesn't just capture like an image. He captures the figure underneath the makeup. So if you look at, make me some space. If you look at the cheekbones on that and the scar and stuff underneath. Now a lot of this doesn't really get recorded on other sort of, how can I put it, less detailed Frankenstein figures. But knowing Paul as I do,
I wouldn't know which Frankenstein is it.
Well, I don't know. It's a Carlo Frankenstein, so it's one of the first 2 or 3 movies, isn't it? To me, it looks like the second movie. I'm pretty sure it's the Bride of Frankenstein.
Bride of Frankenstein.
I think
which
that's
would lead us on to later on. We've got Julian chatting about that, so we'll ask him. I'll keep that one, and we'll ask Julian later what that one is. What's next, man, friend?
The Child Catcher. This is from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I can't tell you the name of the actor, but he is the icon that launched A Million Nightmares, because halfway through that movie, the Child Catcher turns up, and it turns from like a funny family movie with a little bit of musical numbers with Dick Van Dyke and all of those people, and all of a sudden it becomes quite gruesome.
Dark, innit?
Dark. It's dark. Is this guy, which is basically some sort of Nazi figure that goes around collecting all the children and stopping them having fun. But he doesn't just stop them by having fun, he actually locks them all up, doesn't he, somewhere?
Is he like an headmaster?
I would say not a modern headmaster. Because a modern headmaster probably lets kids get away with far too much.
You can't say that because you've still got a job.
Because I've still got a job. But he's a bit like the demon headmaster in this. Do you remember the demon headmaster from the TV, children's TV? There's a guy called the demon headmaster.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
You were probably doing a proper job at the time.
I probably was.
So you probably don't remember it, but I wasn't doing a proper job. I was a teacher, so I was probably watching the telly in my break. But this is an absolute corker. And this is Andy Copeland, one of Andy Copeland's pieces of genius, and we've got plenty of that. We're going to have some more Andy Copeland genius in a minute, but for now, have a look at that face. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, Child Catcher, not a typical horror sort of icon, but actually genuinely scary, I would say.
Almost as scary as Jimmy Savile, isn't he?
Oh, well, that's the point, isn't it?
Right?
He is
Jimmy
very
Savile.
Now,
that's got to be the worst letter ever wrote, hasn't it? Dear Jimmy, can you fix it for me to meet Rolf Harris? I'm like, can you imagine writing that?
Yeah, but only when he's visiting Stuart Hall.
Yeah.
Right, that's
I'm sure that'll be took off air, but
we'll edit that. This, of course, is by Darren Kent.
It's lovely.
And it's Marlo from 30 Days a Night.
Yeah.
I would say, if you're looking for a class vampire movie which doesn't have cliches in it, 30 Days a Night is one that stands alone in it. It's a pretty good movie there.
It's not a character that everybody that's seen it so far said, wow, why wasn't that done before?
Yeah.
He has a bottom set of fangs as well.
Yep.
He has a bottom set of teeth as well, which we've cast separate. This one's available now in time for Christmas. It's about a third scale. Darren wanted to have a go at doing a likeness, and I think he's absolutely smashed it. I think he's absolutely smashed it. He's absolutely. So I'm going to give him a few more bits and pieces to do. You think you've had enough with Darren, with his Predators and his Kong. We've got something special coming for Darren very, very shortly. We are now working to get the to produce the Vecna down. So that one will be a killer kit soon, hopefully. But Darren's just in the middle of doing a classic 80s horror thing for me. He's got a couple more of them lined up. But he wants to try and do a few more likenesses just to sharpen his skills up. But that's superb.
This is great. I mean, anybody could paint it and get a reasonable response. But I think if you consider yourself to be a pretty good painter, and I know plenty of them because I've seen some, see some loads at the show. Yeah. If you consider yourself to be a decent painter, you could make that come alive in a very special way.
He's done a good job of that. I mean, I love it. I love the air,
especially if you painted it using the dark tones of the movie stills.
It's just got a nice. I like his style.
Lovely.
I like Darren's style. I'm a bit biased because he works for me as well. This one's a classic from a UK legend. We have debuted this before, but look how good that is. Oh my God!
Look at it.
Breathtaking.
It is. It's just
in the grey. It
looks great in the grey, doesn't it?
That's from the second film. That's
Terminator 2.
And what we've done, guys, originally when we took this off Alan, people were asking us to get it out, so we did it solid. But if you just now do it, we've now redone it.
Does the base come off?
And it's hollow.
Right.
So if you want to put an LED in it, you can now drill into it.
Yeah.
Sorry for you guys that originally bought it, but we now do it off it and we've redone it, and we've got the original Terminator from Alan. And we've got Alan's a super guy. We are going to get him on, and he is having a table for next year's show. He's a super guy. Go and say hi to him at next year's show. And
I have to say,
we can't wait to get the guy here. I've been driving him insane about 2 of his figures. So Alan, if you're watching this, don't forget we want that evil head and
the likeness.
That's one of the best Arnie's I've seen, if I'm honest.
It's not like a cartoon of Arnie.
No, it's one of the best Arnie's.
It's like a real study, isn't it?
I think it's one of the best Arnie's likenesses I've seen. And as soon as Alan did this, I thought, I've just got to...
Look at the hair.
I've got to get this. He's working on the final one in the series. He's just tweaking about with the likeness. Hopefully he'll get that finished But he's a really nice guy, Alan. He's super duper. So that's Schwarzenegger T800, 800 in it.
T2 or T4?
Terminator 2, guys.
Terminator
T800.
T2000 or whatever. I don't know, but
T1000.
T1000 is the original.
It's the one that goes, and this is the 800. This is the endoskeleton.
Oh, this is the old-fashioned analog one that can't walk through walls, isn't it?
That's the one. That's the one. Can. Superb, old-fashioned analog.
Old-fashioned analog can't beat a proper solid Terminator as far as I'm concerned. Much scarier than a blob of silver grease.
That's what you want. Mate.
This one, another Andy Copeland. Am I right?
This is Andy Copeland. Last year we did a nun diorama bus, which was huge for the horror conventions and for yourselves. People were complaining a little bit about the size of it, so we decided to redo it in a different format, and this is it.
It's a wall hanger,
and it's also very similar to the film.
There
so it's a nun coming out of the wall, out of the mirror.
Look at that,
like a 3D picture. So if you short of space, guys.
Stick it on your wall.
Stick it on your wall.
How would you treat the mirror around her?
I thought about painting it black and then
just having it black and then coming out of it like that. Because you can get chrome paints now.
There's a picture in it. In the film, there's a picture of her.
Yeah.
So basically what we tried to do is, it's an oil painting of her. So we tried to do it as if it's coming out of an oil painting.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's good. And there's a hand as well, isn't there?
Two hands.
Two hands coming out there, yeah.
So that one's now available, guys, just in time for...
It's Christmas, mate.
It's Christmas.
It's Halloween Christmas.
Halloween.
It's Halloween Christmas.
It's actually Halloween.
It's Halloween. It's Halloween. When you dip your long pointed hand into that Samhain cauldron and you pull out what you think is going to be Spirit of the Dead, you're actually going to pick out one of these kits.
I hope so.
How does that? That's pretty poetic, that, isn't it?
I like that, mate.
I consider myself
We missed you, mate. We missed you, Bill.
Oh, no. Look, there's so much to miss.
So he saved the best till last, I think. Well, his favourite till last.
And once again, it's Andy Copeland, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And...
He's got to be careful with this because Andy will shout at him if he damages it.
I know, because this is very fragile because it's the original. Now, there's 3 Jaws heads that you can buy separately.
3 Jaws bus.
And there's that beautiful big shark.
Bruce the shark, yeah.
Now, when I saw that shark, I thought, the ultimate Jaws kit.
Did you?
Sold a load of them, haven't you?
Yeah, they went really well.
They went really well. Totally, that's no surprise, is it? Because it's like... But wait, because I often get excited, as you know, I got excited about all sorts of stuff, and I get really excited, and I'm not easy to excite. People will tell you that, because normally I'm quite dour and restrained.
As soon as he walked in.
But when I walked in and saw this, there's very few things that I look at which make me feel this excited.
So when he came in, he seen that, and he thought, just be careful with the head.
I'm being very careful with this, because look at that. You have got all 3 figures, which are fully rigged out with their glasses and cigars and all sorts of stuff. These, I've got to be very careful with it.
Because these just fasten on.
You've got the jawbone of a great white shark on the back there. Now, you might not know this, but sharks don't really have a solid skeleton. They're what we call cartilaginous fishes. And their main skeleton is made out of cartilage, like dogfish and rays and skates. But the only bit which needs to be bone, because they have to keep themselves light, so the only thing that needs to be bone is the jaw. So when you find a fossil fish, like a fossil shark, like a megalodon or something, all you ever actually find may be the impression of the body, but you actually find the fossil of the jaws alone, because they're the only ones that really fossilise properly. So the white shark, which is the jaws, great white shark, the only bit of that shark which is actually bone is the jaws. The rest of it's completely flexible, obviously, for various reasons, but also that. But if it weighed, if its whole skeleton was made of bone, it would weigh almost as much as a whale.
Wow.
So this is the only bit that evolution has allowed it to keep as a piece of actual calcified bone. But that, let me just get it a little bit closer. Now, once again,
likeness is impeccable.
Likeness is impeccable.
Andy went back. Andy went back and redid the likenesses. He took Quint's hat off and he went and tinkered about. So you're getting new.
Yeah. So you're not buying the same kit 3 times. You know, you're buying new versions, new impressions of the 3 that you might already have purchased.
Well, it's just an add-on to it. We had this plan from the beginning, but Andy wanted to keep going. It took Andy so long because he kept going back. Like he's
obsessive, isn't he, about likeness?
I think that's it now with
he's
Jaws.
Obsessive,
I think
that's it.
I think that's it. I think we're well and truly Jawsed out now.
I love the way Quint is at the top inside the actual jaw itself, because that's where he ended up. He's got no hat on.
I mean, they all fit nicely. They all fit nicely to it.
They've got shark bites out of them, haven't they?
Now we're going to cast this, guys. Everyone's asked me, so you can actually. I mean, I'm going to tell Bill to just
hold it.
We're going to cast them so you can actually
take them,
paint them. And if you look very carefully, there's locator plots for these. Yeah. So these on the back here, there will be like a locators there. So you'll be able to just pop them on and paint them out. So then you can paint everything else.
Yeah, and then you can put it all together.
Now this one hopefully will be going under rubber this next week or so. So guys, if you want this, just get on the PMs to us. Message me, let me know. This one's going to be coming very, very soon. When you get this, guys, they're completely different likenesses. Even I can spot that. And this was so good. I watched the film again the other night just because I enjoyed it. Just because I enjoyed it. I've seen bits in the film that I didn't really appreciate in the other ones, but there you go. So that's the new stuff, guys. We thank you very much again for tuning in. We will be back now. We are gonna. There should be a segment coming on from Bill and Julian are going to do Universal Monster one because it's Halloween. A little bit of a special for that. The American guys have done us a few nice bits and pieces. We should be back to normal now, guys. We are away in a few weeks at Telford. Hopefully Bill's gonna come. Is it Remembrance Sunday?
Yeah.
So we'll do a Telford special when we're about. I mean, I'm going to discuss it with Bill after the video stop. So we actually should be back to regular, because I know a lot of you contacted me and said, Dave, where's the videos? We're back now. We should be back now and doing them. It was just Bill was poorly and we had the show, so we're going to try and get back into a more regular thing.
Yeah, falafels aren't necessarily safe, even if you feel that is the best way to go.
Killer falafel. I can't even say
killer it. Falafel. The attack of the killer falafels. Yeah. So,
it wasn't good, was it?
Wasn't
Dave,
good.
I don't feel great. Yeah, stay in bed, mate. It was great because we both had a lie-in. Not that you can have a lie-in when you've got a 12-month-old pup, but there you go. But it was good to see you, Gad. Listen, smash a like, put a comment in below, hit the notification bell. Thanks for all the nice love, and we hope to see you very, very soon. Bill's, like I say, Bill and myself are going to be chatting to Julian in a while, so today, so that should be another video that'll go up. So you might have double trouble this week. Yeah. So enjoy, guys. Take care and be safe this Halloween.
So it's goodbye from me,
and it's goodbye
from him.
How you guys doing? Hey, everybody. I'm Kirk Cullimore. This is my son, Stephen Cullimore. We're here to bring you something a little different today. Some kits from long ago.
Tales of the Garage Kits. That's what we like to call it.
Couple to preview for you, whatever. That one. And I'm going to let Steve start with this one.
This is a really neat character. Always loved this movie. I seen it when I was 12 years old and left a big impact on me. Sculpted by William Paquette. Eva from Ghost Story.
That was 1981.
Smaller, 81, yeah.
With Fred Astaire and who else? What was the other guy's name?
I'm not quite sure. I don't remember the actor's name so much. It ain't at the tip of my tongue right now. But this was sculpted in 2010. Got his name on the back of there. Really, really nice likeness. Smaller 1/4.
It was put out by originally by Deadham Pond Designs. This was a quarter scale limited.
I never heard of them before.
Oh, I don't even know if they're still around anymore. But here was their info that came with it there. But we thought we'd definitely get a kick out of seeing that one. This is a kit that I've had for a while, and Steve wants me to get it from me real bad. So.
I always liked this character. Creepy. I always thought the part that really grossed me out was when, what was it, when one of the older men walked right into the room, and she lifted her, what was it, the veil up, and the next thing you know, it looked like her face was melting. I remember I was eating potato soup, and it made me want to gag it back up.
How you can remember that shit? I don't remember. That little detail looked amazing.
Well, it's
photographic memory of that.
Nostalgic, you know, it brings you right back down the memory lane.
Things, holy Christ.
Yeah, and it just looked like it, so it kind of went with it. It was gross.
Now, I've got another kit here that is one of my Grail kits. I purchased it in 04, so almost 21 years ago. 20 years for sure. But it was from a 1981 movie called The Dragon Slayer. And it had the main actor in it was Peter McNichol, who has now been in a lot of movies. You see him in that TV series, the old one, Numbers. He's in that. But this was a lobby card I had gotten. So it kind of shows him there. But that was from the movie Dragon Slayer. And so this was sculpted by Bill Wiegert. And it is the Merthorax dragon. This thing is huge. Again, I have yet to build it, but here's the body of it. And it looks just like from the movie. I mean, the sculpt is amazing. If you've all seen the movie, you'll know what we're talking about here. I added a few little deals here where for the spikes, back in the day, I drilled and put some fish line in there just to make them more protruded where they didn't seem like they stuck out enough or were missing because they're so thin. And then the wings, this thing is, when it's assembled, is 32 inches wide. This is one wing right here. So you can see how big it is when it's on there. The legs. He's in flight. It's a big piece. Maybe that's why I haven't built it yet. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. But it's definitely one of my Grail kits. So both wings on there, the legs. But a very cool piece. Long out of production. The mold, I had heard years ago. I don't know how many of these were actually produced. I've never seen a lot of them. But I know I saw it at the show at Wonderfest. And then when I got home, it's like, okay, I got a hold of them and ordered this thing. And so I haven't never really seen a lot of these. But I heard that the mold definitely went bad. It probably was an old urethane mold. But as big as this thing is, I can understand.
Didn't you say there was only, like 5, 10 made?
I don't know. I don't know the actual number. Not a lot. I don't think a lot. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this. This is a cool piece. I wish you could see it in person better. It's just the detail on these wings is all the, I mean, it looks just like
dragon skin.
Yeah, it does. Very cool. This baby's been sitting in a box for, well, I bought it 20 years ago, so it's one I'll have to do eventually. But I'm thinking about putting it on, when I do it, I have a big heavy metal candles, a sconce, a wall hanger, and having it come out of that. So the candles, the LED candles under flickering underneath, I thought would be a real cool effect. But then that thing makes this thing huge. So that's just kind of the thought. But these days we'll get it finished up and show you guys what it looks like. So in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this. We kept it short and sweet, but we wanted to do something a little different, some older kits that you guys might not have seen. So we have a few more down the line. We'll share with you as time goes by. So you guys take care. Be safe.
Happy trails to you. See you on the next flight.
Oh, yeah.